Alrighty, I want to clear something up. I've talked to many Jehovah Witnesses, and every time I do, I think it's very important, most important, to talk about the deity of Christ. So I always go through different scriptures showing the deity of Christ. Why? Because if you have the wrong Jesus, everything is for nothing. Why? Because only God can save and only God can forgive sins. So in doing this, I like to take the Jehovah Witnesses to the chapter and verse, Isaiah 9:6. I'm going to read out of the New World Translation. It's a child is born, a son is given. Okay? And later on, his name will be called, this is Jesus, right? We all agree on this. They do too. They agree that this is Jesus. His name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Eternal Father, and Prince of Peace. They agree. I say, okay, well, Mighty God. And what do they tell me? Same thing that they'll tell you. Well, he's not the Almighty God. See, Jehovah is the Almighty God, but Jesus is just a mighty God. Okay. Using their own Bible. This is very important because they believe that the New World Translation is the best interpretation. It is the best Bible out there. All other Bibles pale in comparison. So, using their own Bible, bring them to Isaiah chapter 10, verses 20 through 21. And the New World Translation reads, Jehovah, okay, Jehovah, the Holy One of Israel, in trueness, a mere remnant will return, the remnant of Jacob, to, here it is, the mighty God. The mighty God. Jehovah is being called the mighty God. Well, Jesus was called the mighty God. They said, well, Jehovah's the Almighty God. Okay, so Isaiah 10, 22 through 21 calls Jehovah the mighty God. Not the Almighty God, but just the mighty God. See, this is important because when they bring this up, this is another check mark that you could take from them. So, oh, well, the whole mighty God thing is done away with now. You can't use that. Just like the big G, little g. Jesus is the little g and Jehovah is the capital G. But in the Greek, they're all capitals. So that doesn't hold either. So then you could do away with that one as well. See, what we want to do when talking to the Jehovah Witnesses is they have a little arsenal, right? So every time we do one of these, like we get rid of the Almighty God and Mighty God thing. So we said that Jehovah is a mighty God just like Jesus, because Jesus is Jehovah. And the big G, little g, we do away with that. It's very important to go through all of this and do away with it. That way they can't use it. I want to be real fast. So that's it on this one. Hope this helps.